Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to viewers joining us on the TNT Sports and Queensberry social media channels. It is weigh-in day here in London ahead of Championship Boxing at York Hall, live from 7:45 Saturday night, tomorrow night, on TNT Sports. We're at British Boxing's spiritual home of York Hall, and the main event, well, this is a guy who knocks everybody out. 13 fights, 13 wins, 13 knockouts. Sam Noakes takes on by far the toughest test of his career, vacant European title on the line against Yven Mendy, a man who, by the way, has never, ever been knocked out. Plenty on the line, 7:45 tomorrow night. Well, today's all about the weigh-in. I'm looking around, I'm seeing a lot of hungry-looking fighters, so let's begin the weigh-in process. Firstly, we'll begin with 4 rounds in the middleweight division. Let's first welcome to the scales, competing in his 58th professional contest from Perm, Russia, Vasyv Mamedov. This will be a 4-round middleweight contest tomorrow evening at York Hall. Vasyv Mamedov about to take to the scales.
Step up nice and still. £165, 4 ounces.
£165 and 4 ounces. Okay, now let's welcome to the scales a young man making his professional debut. He's a multi-time Irish national amateur champion. Please welcome from Ballyhornis Island, Yven Lavin.
£161, 8 ounces.
£161 and 8 ounces. Professional debut for Yven Lavin coming up tomorrow evening at York Hall. Get some photos and a face-off. Okay, 4 rounds in the middleweight division tomorrow evening at York Hall. Our next contest that we will weigh in is 6 rounds in the super welterweight division. Let's first welcome to the scales, competing in his 14th professional fight, joining us from Moselle, France, Remy Scholar.
£158, 2 ounces.
£158 and 2 ounces for Remy Scholar. Okay, let's bring to the scales his opponent. He is unbeaten with a record of 1 win and no defeats. He is a highly decorated amateur. Joining us from Bexley Heath, please welcome Jack the Ripper Oliphant. £160 for Jack Oliphant.
Face off, guys.
6 rounds in the super welterweight division tomorrow evening, Jack Oliphant and Remy Scholar. We'll now move to 4 rounds in the middleweight division. Let's first welcome to the scales, competing in his 12th professional contest, joining us from Narvia, Estonia, Artem Sparta.
Keep still. 161 pounds.
161 pounds for Artem Sparta. Now let's welcome to the scales his opponent. He is unbeaten with a record of 2 wins and no defeats, with 1 win coming by way of knockout. Joining us from Luton, please welcome Sam King. 161 pounds for Sam King.
Face off, guys. Face the front first. Face the front. Face off, guys.
All right, 4 rounds in the middleweight division tomorrow evening at York Hall, Sam King and Artem Sparta. We now move to the lightweight division. Let's first welcome to the scales, competing in his 13th professional contest, joining us from Brighton, please welcome Mark Butler.
£130 even.
£130 for Mark Butler. Okay, now let's welcome to the scales. He is unbeaten with a record of 2 wins and no defeats. Joining us from Upminster, please welcome Billy Boom Boom Adams.
£132 even.
£132 for Billy Boom Boom Adams.
Face off, guys.
All right, 4 rounds in the lightweight division. Billy Boom Boom Adams taking on Mark Butler. Our next contest that we will weigh in is 8 rounds in the bantamweight division. Let's first welcome to the scales, competing in his 30th professional contest, joining us from Managua, Nicaragua, Darwin Martinez. £120 for Darwin Martinez. Now let's welcome to the scales his opponent. He has a record of 10 wins, only 1 defeat, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing the former WBC International Silver Champion from Liverpool, Andrew Kane. £119 and 8 ounces for Andrew Kane.
Face the front first, guys. Face off.
Eight rounds tomorrow evening in the bantamweight division. The return of Andrew Kane against Darwin Martinez. Our next contest that we will weigh in is 8 rounds in the cruiserweight division. Now, this is the fight where Alois Jr. will be making a big TV statement. His opponent will weigh in tomorrow, but we'll bring to the scales now Alois Jr., who will weigh in today. Let's welcome to the scales. He has a record of 6 wins, only 1 defeat, with 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Joining us from Penge, Alois, the Animal Jr.
205 pounds.
205 pounds for Alois Jr. Now, Alois' opponent will weigh in tomorrow, but we should get some photos of Alois while he's here. Can't come in that kind of shape and not get some photos, can you?
Ding, face off.
Thank you. Alois Jr. in action tomorrow evening, 8 rounds in the cruiserweight division. Our next contest that we will weigh in is for the WBC International Silver Super Lightweight Championship. Let's first welcome to the scales the challenger. He has a record of 16 wins, only 4 defeats, with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Joining us from Barranquilla, Colombia, Michael Mendoza.
No, stay still, please. 140 pounds.
140 pounds for Michael Mendoza. All right, now let's welcome to the scales his opponent. He is unbeaten with a record of 12 wins and no defeats, with 4 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning, defending, undefeated WBC International Silver Super Lightweight Champion, the Showman, Henry Turner.
140 pounds.
140 pounds for Henry Turner. Both fighters have made championship weight. WBC International Silver Super Lightweight Championship on the line tomorrow evening, live on TNT Sports.
Pass me that belt.
Face the front first, guys.
Well done, Al.
Good. Thank you, guys.
10 rounds for the WBC International Silver Super Lightweight Championship. It is now time to weigh in the main event participants. The vacant EBU European Lightweight Championship will be on the line. Let's first welcome to the scales with a record of 48 wins, only 6 defeats and 1 draw, with 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Here's the reigning IBF International Champion and the former EBU European Lightweight Champion. Joining us from Paris, France, please welcome Yven Mendy. Yven Mendy, a former European champion himself, and is looking to get his belt back.
Still hands by his side.
It's okay.
Step up. Nice and still, hands by his side. 134 pounds, 2 ounces.
134 pounds and 2 ounces. Yven Mendy has made championship weight. Okay, now let's welcome to the scales his opponent. He has a perfect unbeaten record, 13 fights, 13 wins, 13 knockouts. He's the reigning British and Commonwealth champion, challenging for the European Championship. Please welcome from Maidstone, Sam Noakes.
Nice and still, Sam. Yeah, step up. Hands by your side. Nice and still.
£134, 10 ounces.
134 pounds and 10 ounces. Both fighters make championship weight ahead of tomorrow night's main event, live on TNT Sports from 7:45 from British Boxing's spiritual home of York Hall. Sam Noakes, Yven Mendy, we're about to see a face-off. Yven Mendy, a former European champion. Sam Noakes is the British and Commonwealth champion, unbeaten. Vacant European title on the line.
Sam, your back goes to where I'm done. 4 sets to worry about.
Face off, guys.
There we have it. That is your main event tomorrow evening. Sam Noakes, Yven Mendy, European Lightweight Championship on the line. For those watching on the stream, do stick with us. We're going to try and speak to the room as much as we can. So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
Sound like such an old key. I'm going out cold. They follow you.
Well, we've seen the fighters all weigh in. I'm delighted to be in the company of the manager of not just Sam Noakes, but also Henry Turner. We was talking about this earlier. Is this the first time that you've had a Francis Warren managed fighter main event? I was racking my brains.
Yeah, I mean, we had Dennis and Ianu Baluta. They had a great fight, didn't they, last year? But yeah, I mean, it was a terrific fight. But I'm very proud of having both Sam and Henry on Saturday night, and Sam headline and Henry chief support. So yeah, it's quite a night for me personally, but obviously more importantly than anything, you know, these two guys have got two very, very tough fights, and you know, it's going to be a terrific night.
Well, let's start with Sam. That is the main event. A proud moment, as you said. First time that he's been main event, and what a fight. It's quite a quick turnaround as well, which is something I noticed. February to April. He's only just become the British champion. Tell us why this is the right step right now against Yven Mendy.
Well, we had one eye on this, the winner of Mendy and Patera, who were due to fight for the European title around sort of now. And we were looking to do the winner of that in July. But the opportunity arose, and you know, timing's everything sometimes. And I think that Sam's on a bit of a roll. The momentum he's got behind him at the moment. You know, Commonwealth champion, British champion. You know, had some good fights. I mean, Lewis Sylvester put up. You know, we all thought that was going to be a tough fight, and fair play to Lewis. He had a good first round, but from then on, Sam dominated the fight and looked fantastic. So if he can carry on that form into this fight against a very proven, not quite, I wouldn't say world level fighter, but he's been in there with some world class fighters and mixed it. But I think that, you know, if Sam can carry on in the form that he's been in, why wait? I think sometimes, you know, you've got to seize the opportunities when they arise, and. You know, you could have made a quick defence of the British against, all due respect, against maybe a British opponent that's not at his level, and he might take the foot off the gas. But with a European title against a very, very live opponent, it's going to keep him intrigued, keep him buzzing in the gym, keep him going, keep him, keep him, make sure his eye doesn't come off the prize. And another belt to add to his ever-expanding collection.
Yeah.
I mean, he must have one huge, only seconded to Tyson Fury's mantelpiece. Yeah. But he's collecting some accolades and some belts. And fingers crossed Saturday night, if he's done his homework and done his prep work within the gym, which I'm sure he has, I think he'd be fine. But I think it's just about keeping the momentum going, and the opportunity arose, and he wanted to grab it with both hands.
Yeah, and it's a big statement. Not only if he wins, because this guy's only been beaten by good fighters, but if he stops him, if he stops Yven Mendy, who no one's been able to stop so far, that proves his power and proves his levels, right?
Absolutely. Listen, we all know that Sam's got the power. Has he got the secret? That's so bad. But we all know he's got the. We all know he's got the power.
Yeah.
His record speaks for itself. I liken Sam, and I've said it a few times, to this, like expanding foam. Once he's on you and it gets into you, you just can't get him off.
Just can't get it off.
Asked Lewis Sylvester how he felt, after round 3, and Lewis just said, "Oh, he's just so strong. He just wouldn't leave me alone. He wouldn't get off me. He's almost a bit, he's like a bully. He just does. He knows every trick in the book, and not just the technical skills that he's learned, and keeps improving on fight with, from working with Alan Smith and Eddie Lamb in the iBox. It's his dogged determination just to not let people off the hook, and it's not concussive one-punch power that are stopping these guys. It's dogged determination and just grueling nastiness. And I don't think Mendy's been in with anyone like this before. It's so young, so fresh, so hungry, so passionate, with the passion to win. And although he's the nicest guy you'll ever likely to meet, not just in boxing or in sport, but any walk of life.
Top fella. Yeah.
He's a real bastard when he gets between the ropes. And I think Yven Mendy, all due respect to him, I just think this, he's coming up against a young man who's just way too hungry for him to get any sort of any joy out of Saturday night.
Well, we talk about momentum, and he became British champion February. He could become European champion in April. Is there a bigger picture than this? Because I know that Denis Baranchyk is promoted by Queensberry Promotions alongside K2. He's fighting for the vacant WBO lightweight title against Emmanuel Navarrete. Have you got an eye on what's going on there?
Well, that's a good question, because there was it links to your earlier question about why have we taken this fight against Mendy for the European title now rather than having a defence of the British. We all know that fight's happening for the vacant WBO world title, so I wanted Sam to get sort of a bit more world level experience. If the opportunity comes up to fight the winner of that, again, you take it with both hands, whether it's July, September, October, but before the end of the year, I mean, if you offer me Baranchyk in September, I'd take it in a heartbeat. Navarrete, I think he's obviously the more technically skilled of the two, and he probably is definitely the favourite for that fight, but he's coming up in weight division. So for someone who, it's Sam's style of fighting, who gets bigger and gets huge overnight, is a monster in the ring, won't leave you alone. Could he cope with Navarrete's skills? Yeah, by jumping all over him, probably. And it's definitely either 100% take the winner of Navarrete and Baranchyk.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if you are the winner of that fight, and you see a guy, say he just knocks out Mendy, and you say, well, this is who you've got to fight now, 14 fights, 14 wins, 14 knockouts, especially if you're Navarrete, who's a smaller guy, I don't know if you're going to like the look of that.
Don't tell him that. Don't say that. Don't tell him that.
Won't tell him.
Yeah, don't tell him. I think that he's on a roll, and we're not getting carried away saying that Sam's ready to go and knock boots with the biggest, with the best lightweights in the world. But that is a fight, Baranchyk and Navarrete. That I really do believe Sam would cope very, very well with the winner of that. Do we take the loser, see where he's at? That's not either a bad shout. If Baranchyk gets beat, defence of the European title against him. Who knows if that's a good idea. But listen, first and foremost, Mendy is the wall that he's got to get over on Saturday night, and if he does that in style against Mendy, like you said, he could propel himself onto a world stage, and the winner of that world title fight, and on May 18th they might fancy taking on the undefeated British and European champion. 100%.
Well, let's see if he can get over that wall or even through the wall, which is what he tends to do.
That's the one, yeah.
Henry Turner, now he's doing very well, 12-0. The opponent that he's got wasn't the first choice,
no.
Right? You had a British opponent unfortunately pulled out, right? So tell me what the process has been like, and what do you know about the guy that he's going to be fighting?
It's the guy fighting. He's very, very tough, very durable, and I think it's no disrespect to the original opponent, but it may even be it's a different box of tricks that he's got to work out on Saturday night. We wanted a British opponent just because I think that Henry's knocking on the door for when those British and Commonwealth titles become available, which I can't see, I think they will become available in the not too distant future. And there's some good fights out there at super lightweight for Henry, and at welterweight. I think he could be one of those guys that flips between the two weights. But it's obviously it's always a frustration when your original opponent is changed at a couple of weeks' notice, and it's been very tough to match him. Everyone knows that Henry Turner is a terrific fighter, terrific technically gifted fighter, and he's getting some power as he's finding his man strength. Not many people want to know about it, so I think he needs to put on another class performance on Saturday, and continue to show his skills in the shop window.
And how far off do you think he is from? You talked about British and Commonwealth titles soon in his future. Now the British champion is Dalton Smith. He says technically he thinks he's right up there with Dalton Smith now. What do you make of it?
It's an experience thing. Dalton's a terrific fighter, and I think Dalton's he's probably a couple of stages ahead of Henry. And I don't think Henry or Al would mind me saying that. Dalton's, I think he's a WBC silver champion now, so he's knocking on the door for a world title. Mandated for the European as well, and obviously we all know what's happened there. Let's not go there. But I think Henry's he's ready for a British title fight against the next highest ranked British opponent after this fight. We're definitely making an application for Henry to be made mandatory for the British.
Okay, well that's good news. Good to know. You've also got another brilliant super lightweight in the Queensbury stable as well, in Pierce O'Leary as well. Is that something you've kind of thought about and imagined?
No, maybe not.
Separate paths for now.
Bit of politics there, so, so probably not. No, again, I think that experience-wise, Pierce is just slightly ahead of Henry again, and I think Pierce would be probably more likely knocking on the door for a European title. So listen, further down the line, their paths may well cross if they're two undefeated fighters for the European or for world titles in a year or two. Let's see, but I think Pierce is again. He's just that one step ahead of Henry at the moment.
Okay, Francis, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any final words ahead of tomorrow?
Just tune in tomorrow.
Yeah,
just to see the best of British. And I think it's these York Hall shows are really giving some of these youngsters a great chance to showcase what they can do, and not getting sort of hidden away on the undercards of big shows, and it obviously propels them onto that next level, so that everyone can see it. I think they're terrific and they're doing a great job. So are you, Dev. So
stop it! Thank you, Francis Warren.
Cheers, Dev.
Thank you, and thank you for tuning in. That is the weigh-in complete. All they've got to do now is have a fight, and we know what the main event is: the return of Sam Noakes. 13 fights, 13 wins, 13 knockouts. But this guy, Yven Mendy, he's never been knocked out. He's quite the player in the lightweight division. Let's see if Sam Noakes can go through him like he has with every other opponent so far. Tune in, 7:45, TNT Sports. We'll see you then.